Hey there, this is Neil Napier from Kyvio Lab, and in this video I'm going to show you how to build an auto webinar funnel using Kyvio and nothing else. Now, just so you know, there are going to be some restrictions in terms of what you can do if you want to build an auto webinar funnel right inside of Kyvio. The first thing is you're not going to have live chat available because we're just not a webinar platform. That's the honest thing. The second thing is that you won't be able to fully automate it the way I do, because for that you need something like Funnel 247. So if you like what you see and if you missed out Funnel 247 before, you can execute this, or if you have Funnel 247 now, you can execute this there as well. So let me go ahead and actually first of all draw out what a typical auto webinar funnel should look like. Okay, so typically you've got an opt-in page here. So let's put that, an opt-in page. And people come in, they opt in. Let's say you could have some time sensitivity to it. So people have 15 minutes to opt in. And I've noticed that pushes up the conversions. I mean, this page that you see over here, we had over 65% conversions on this page. So it converted really, really well. So ideally have a timer here because it is a pretty cool thing to do as well. Then when people opt in, you send them to, let's call it a holding page. So it is a thank you page, but I'm going to call this a holding page, because what you do in this case is you tell them that, hey, the webinar is going to start in say another 15 minutes or so. In the meantime, watch this video as well as then check out an offer that I want to make to you. So it's an extra way to put some money in your pocket. I'm just going to put a dollar sign because you can actually make money here as well. And I'll show you the metrics, the maths as well in a little bit. Then again, I'll come back and show you how to build this in Kyvio. Then when the webinar starts, what happens is that people get redirected to this page. Now, as I mentioned, Kyvio is not a webinar platform, it's a landing page, it's a funnel builder. So there are going to be some restrictions, but you can still use it if you want to do it in a low tech way, and you can still build an entire funnel for auto webinars, for webinars based on this. So what you then do is you've got a headline, let's say, the headline could be, you know, the webinar or well, it's not quite a webinar. You could say the workshop has started. I wouldn't call it a webinar because typically webinar has more of a live feeling to it, but you could say a workshop has started. Please click here to, just make sure you click on the button on this video or on the workshop to watch it, because these days you can't autoplay videos on Chrome. Again, I use another application to autoplay videos, but you can't do that. And even if you do that, it wouldn't have any sound in it. Now, here is a drawback. When someone refreshes this page, unfortunately, the video is going to start from the beginning. Now, I looked at people who are selling courses for $1,500, who are selling even $5,000 coaching on phone call, and even they face the same problem in that they can't seem to start the video from the point where people are watching it. That can only be done by something like EverWebinar. But in this case, the video starts from scratch again. If you are technical, reach out to me, tell me how can we start the video at exact time that we should. So for example, if people were to come in here and watch the webinar half an hour early, ideally the webinar should start from the middle, right? If you know how to do that, tell me about it. But regardless, you can still use this to make money, because here's what you do. Let's say after 45 minutes has passed, which is when the pitch happens, then you can activate your buy link here. You can activate all the descriptions. Let me see if this is one of the page. Yeah. So when, for example, 45, I think for this one, 55 minutes have passed, I turn on this timer because, you know, there's a limit to the offer on the webinar, how much they have to pay. And then I load up all this offer as well, and I give them a chance to buy this package immediately. So that really helps as well. And that urgency puts a lot of money in my pocket. So there's a timer here as well. I don't know how I can draw a clock, or let's just do that. There's a timer here as well. So then when the timer hits 0, people automatically get redirected to a replay page. This is important. So you need a replay page because you want to tell people that, hey, you missed the webinar or the webinar's ended. You can watch the replay here, which is basically the same page as this one that I just showed you. It's a replay page. People can watch the webinar and they can again choose to buy. Now, this is where a lot of people make a mistake. They keep their replay page available forever. You don't need to do that. What you need to do is you need to have a timer on here as well. So say it's a timer for 4 days. And when the clock hits 0, then you need to redirect people to another page which says now the offer is closed. You can opt in here so that we can inform you next time we open the offer. So let me go back here. I think this is the webinar ended one. I can show you this right now. Okay, so webinar is expired. The webinar you're trying to join is no longer available. You can have that, and then the offer expired as well. So this page is good for the first few hours, but you can bypass that and you can focus on the offer is expired. Okay, here was the offer, but the offer has closed. You can mail our support desk and get in touch with us if you're still interested. And see, we don't even mention the price here because we can kind of negotiate that when they reach out to us via the support desk. And this is really, really important because if you want to be ethical, if you're using timers, you got to be strict about the timers. You can't just have it both ways, right? So let's start from the very beginning. Let's go ahead and look at the opt-in page. I'm going to close all these down and I'll show you all these 5 pages here. So this is the opt-in page, pre, and this is what it looks like. Let's also edit this. Okay, so this is the opt-in page. It's very straightforward. It tells people that this is a live workshop we're running. Click here to sign up. Now, what I can do here is I can choose one of the timers from Kyvio. I can say it's a real scarcity countdown timer, which is it's going to run for, let's say, 15 minutes only. So whenever someone gets on this page, it's going to run for 15 minutes. Now that's not to say people can't clear their cookies and do it again. Yeah, they can do it again, right? But it's going to run for 15 minutes. And if they don't sign up, this is optional. If they don't sign up in 15 minutes, you can always take people to this page, right? Like, hey, you missed out, I'm sorry, but that's how it's going to be. So let me show you actually, I think maybe if I can show you a real example right now. 1 minute. Okay. So sometimes I think if we don't have advanced JavaScript in here, so people would have to come to this link after, the minute has ended, they would have to click again, and that's when they will see that webinar has expired. So I'll come back to this in a second, but let me show you this here. So we've got a very simple setup. I'm telling people about what they can learn when they get on the session and what it's all about, give them all that information. But like I said, the key thing is that you have redirect setup. So if people are too slow, if they don't take action, you tell them. If you don't take action, you miss out. Now that's up to you. You don't have to put a timer here, but I know when I put a timer, the conversions go up because people kind of don't want to miss out on a deal, right? So it's all about getting an amazing deal. So while we wait for that page, what I will then do next is I'll show you the page they see when they opt in. So when they opt in, we show them a simple page. We say, awesome, your seat is reserved. Workshop starts in typically about 15 minutes. So this is where I'm using an external application, Timeout, which is part of Funnel 247. And this is where it becomes really, really automated in real time. So check this out as well. Okay, it refreshed automatically. So the timer ended, it went down to 0, and it said the webinar ended, you didn't sign up. If I try and go there again, let's see what happens. I think that was the link. Yeah, there we go. Oh, was that the link? Let me just check that. Oh, pre-1 was the link. Yeah, because it's a duplicate funnel. See, the webinar has ended, so it automatically forces to go to the next page saying, webinar's ended, you missed it. Forget about this one because that's a different funnel altogether. Whoops, didn't want to close that. Okay, so when you've done that, let's go back to, I'm gonna close this. So this is the thank you page that people see. So again, you can have another timer here. The webinar starts in 15 minutes. And I very, very strongly recommend you to do that because when you do, you will be able to force the logic and force people onto the next page when the webinar starts. Very crucial. So before we get started, watch this video, join us on Facebook, get a $1 trial of Kyvio with 25% discount applied. And again, it pushes people because it's a very short-term offer, right? I go for Kyvio. You could also just list out an info product for $7, $10, because that's going to make you your money back that you spend on generating a lead. So if you're running paid traffic, if every lead costs you $5, if one out of those 2 leads buys this for like $10, you make your money back. You break even. Straightforward. Okay? Let's leave because we don't want to make any changes here. Then, when this is done, the next page is a live page. And again, remember what I said, you want to be able to hide the elements and show them much later, right? So watch the video here. I'll just keep it simple, watch the video. I could say there, not visibility, but it was delay. There we go. Click out. My internet's acting up. Let me just refresh this page. All right, so in this case, the video becomes accessible. Then I can say, okay, let's show this after 55 minutes. Right, that way I know that people won't see this urgency immediately. They will see it after they've been on the page for 55 minutes. Now, like I said, this is where every webinar in Kyvio are different, because every webinar is focused primarily on webinars. This is all about kind of simulating that experience. So this is only going to show up after 55 minutes. And again, I can have a timer here. I could say that instead of, again, countdown until D-Day, let's do a real countdown timer, which is available for only 1 hour. So people have an hour to decide whether or not they want that deal. Because if they don't want it, then we can redirect them to another page. Now on this page, we pitch the offer. What I could even do is I could give them a discount on this page. So it could be a webinar only discount that's available when they're watching it. And again, remember, all of this I could set up in this entire section. I could set up a delay. So it only shows up after, say, 55 minutes. Right? So people have an option to get a discount, but that's only available on this page and after 54 minutes. You may want to enforce that logic, you may not. That's entirely up to you. I'll leave it up to you to decide. But again, when the timer hits 0, then I can say redirect to the replay page. And replay page is this one, which is the same page, but the only difference is that now we don't kind of hide all the details. And again, this is happening because of how I have set it up in here previously. So let's go ahead and edit the replay page as well. And you'll see I have countdown timers here too. And based on timeout, which I'm using, it's forcing me to go to the next page. So I'm just going to get rid of this for now. Instead, what I'll do is I'll use an actual timer from within Kyvio. Let's go to counter. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to use this timer, and again, I could use a real timer, and I could say this page is only available for 72 hours. You know, so it could be 4 days or 3 days, however long I decide, and that's it. Okay, so this is up to you to structure as well, how you want to structure. And again, when the timer ends, you can force people to go on to the next page, which is, remember, we did that, which was the offer has expired page. So let's go, leave this one. So this one was offer has expired page. So it is up to you. Let me also add under here webinar expired if they say no. So it's a very, how should I say, low-key way for people to, for you to run a webinar without paying for every webinar, without paying for GoToWebinar, because GoToWebinar is good for live, but it's not good for replays, for example. Okay, so this is as well, yes and no, either way it goes to this page, and again, yes and no, either way it goes to replay page. And of course, if they buy it, then that's great, but otherwise, they go to the close page. Yes and no. Okay, so I hope this helps you out. I hope this puts a lot of money in your pocket, because this is what it's supposed to do. And like I said, it's really, really easy to do. The only drawback being that once your video does kickstart, if someone refreshes the page, the video starts from the beginning. Unfortunately, you can hide all the play bars and everything, but unless you go really advanced in JavaScript, which I can't, you won't force people to continue where they left off. So I'll let you figure that one out, but if you know how to do that, get in touch with me, let me know, let's improve that solution. And hopefully this helps you, hopefully this gives you some ideas on how to run an auto webinar funnel within Kyvio. This is Neil Napier, thank you so much for watching this.